Hello everyone, Jeremy Walker here, and today I'd like to talk to you about food, and specifically how we relate to food, and how to address overeating, emotional eating, and snacking and sugar cravings. Most people that I help with weight loss through hypnosis, they do eat healthy food, but quite often it's what they eat on top of the healthy food, or missing meals and skipping meals that can become a part of the problem. And it's important to note too that everyone relates to food in a different way. Some people love the taste of food, others feel totally disconnected from it and don't want to even talk about it or go anywhere near it. Some people eat 5 or 6 meals a day, whereas some other people might only have 1 meal a day, and that could be a problem as well. So there are things that can help for addressing overeating, emotional eating and sugar cravings, and we'll talk about some of those things today. For overeating, it's really important to have regular meals and have a meal structure. If there are times where you have just 1 or 2 meals a day and other times where you have 3 to 4 meals a day, that's going to create some inconsistency. So it's really valuable to have a good structure. And that structure does start, not surprisingly, with breakfast. Having that breakfast in the morning, having a lunch, having a dinner, and having those regular meals is really valuable. Also, just from a psychological point of view, and a really simple strategy is to have a small bowl to use at meal times. That way, instead of having that big plate served up to you, or that big bowl maybe served by yourself or even by your partner, you've got that small meal, you feel like you've finished. So it's not like you're leaving anything on the plate and that sort of thing. Some of the things that are really valuable in addressing emotional eating is, I guess, to recognise what it is we're looking for from food at that time. Some of us use food as a stress reliever. Some of us use it as a comfort. I know when I used to crave sugar most, it would be times after a stressful day, maybe at the end of the day in the afternoon, and I'd just be looking for some kind of pick-me-up, or maybe even some kind of high at that time. So when you can find 10 to 15 different ways to satisfy those needs that don't involve food, you'll have gone a long way to reducing or even stopping emotional eating. So think about ways that you already or can nurture yourselves, whether that be spending time in nature, reading, music, singing, spending time with a pet, exercising, doing something you love, spending time at the beach, whatever that might be. Start to come up with all those different ways you can nurture yourselves at that time, and importantly ways that don't involve food. That way you're not, I guess, relying on food to change an emotion or to give you some sort of emotional stability. Really effective ways we can reduce sugar cravings, again, is to have those regular meals. If you are someone who does get up in the morning, kind of has that coffee and maybe has breakfast sometimes and maybe doesn't, you're going to end up craving sugary foods later on, and maybe even overeat there again because you haven't got that balance in the morning. Breakfast gets the metabolism and the hormonal system off on the right foot. So again, having those regular meals is hugely valuable. If after a meal you do feel like you do get a bit of a sugar craving, which I know I still do sometimes as well, why not just cheat with an apple? You're still getting something sweet and still satisfying that need of having that little bit of extra something, but at least you're going for something that's still a healthy option there as well. So think about some sugar alternatives to have if you are still a little bit hungry after a meal, whether it be fruit, sweetening tea with honey, and some of those other nice sweet alternatives there as well. Something else that is hugely valuable and important when it comes to sugar cravings is you may actually be low in the vitamins chromium and magnesium if you even get sugar cravings at all. Some of the clients I see, and I remember one in particular, she was having a litre of Pepsi every single day and a litre of orange juice every single day. Overnight she started taking magnesium and chromium vitamins, and in just 24 hours she cut that from 2 litres of sugar per day that she was consuming straight into her body, down to just 1 glass of orange juice a day, overnight, just by using those vitamins of chromium and magnesium. So taking care of that can also be hugely valuable. I remember there was a time a year or so ago where I had a craving for Coca-Cola, and it's not something I normally get. Some friends had left some Coke in my fridge, and one time after dinner I just had this big craving for Coke and thought I just need to go and have this Coke. So what I actually did is I returned to my 7 cornerstones of health, which is breathing, water, eating real food, doing some form of exercise, time being still and meditating, time using positive self-talk or using gratitude, and time spent doing our passion and doing our purpose. So when I had that sugar craving, I just started going through that list. I took 15 deep breaths, I had a glass of water, I had a small snack of some real food instead of having the Coke, and then I thought, oh, I'll do 10 or 15 star jumps. I started to do the star jumps and just started laughing and realised how ridiculous it was. And I guess it's important to note that any craving you've got for sugary foods, it might last 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. It's something that is very transient. So by giving your body what it's really looking for, oxygen, water, real food and body movement, your body ends up getting what it's, I guess, actually needing at that time, and you don't need to turn to sugary foods, and you can use that as a great distraction. But also, it's giving your body, again, what it's really looking for. So I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. It was great chatting to you today, and I'll chat again to you very soon.